Cane Hill, they dropped a new album, A Piece of Me I Never Let You Find. We chatted with Elijah Witt from the band. It is out now. It was a fantastic chat about the album. We got to dive into what was going on with the band during the time, what kind of and why the album is what it is and what it's talking about. If you want to learn about that, it's all there in the interview. I don't want to give away too much away or
a lot went on.
Or spoil the interview or anything like that. But my favorite thing of the interview, and one of my favorite interview moments potentially ever, was at the beginning of the interview when Elijah goes, "Good luck," and I that's awesome.
Yeah.
Never had an artist say good luck to us before.
I miss that guy.
That was something, man. That was something. That was great. I was hoping that would be the clip for the promo of the interview. And I was like, damn it, Glory, but the clip.
You should have texted me. I would have made it. I didn't even. I remembered. I was either gonna do the hashtag thing where he's like, "Your fucking generation made the most miserable thing ever," and I was like, bro. We were like, that wasn't us. That was you guys who did that shit. So I was torn between that and then them being pit against each other for like the duration of the album process. I didn't even think of that one. I could have done that one.
But it was a fantastic interview. Lots of laughs, but also plenty of content in there as well. So we heard the record a couple months ago, and ever since then I have been unfortunately having to stay lip sealed about this goddamn record and how goddamn good it is, and now I can finally talk about how goddamn good it is. It is so goddamn good. I'm just gonna go out and say it might not be my number one album of the year, because there's a record coming out this Friday that might just take it, because that also blew me away, and we will talk about that next week. But this is certainly up there. This is an album of the year contender. I don't have a list made or anything like that. It's just going to be whatever I spend the most time with gets number one. And I've been spending a fuckload of time with this record. It is so solid front to back. It is not it is not excruciatingly heavy. There's plenty of softer moments on the record, but it just flows so goddamn well. It is so goddamn well written.
It is. The lyrics are
and it's just like front to back. There's not a single hit my mic. There's not a single sleeper song on on this record. It is front to back bangers. I love the way it opens with the first, the not interlude or intro track on the record, The Midnight Sun, and the closer being Fade Into You is a great closer. I mean, quite frankly, shout out the last three songs on the record: Permanence and Sleep, Finding Euphoria, and Fade Into You. What a crazy ass run! But I could sit here and just say every single song and then say, wow, what a crazy ass run, because the track listing on this record is so good. It takes the experience of what is a collection of great songs and takes it up that extra step and achieves exactly what a track list should achieve, which is really enhancing the listening experience. So many favorites on this record. I obviously have been digging all of the singles because I've had so much time with them, but Ecstasy and Grief, Eye to Eye, and Finding Euphoria are my absolute favorite non-singles, but all of the singles also get thrown into the favorites, as well as all of the songs I didn't name. But those have been like the top three non-singles. Permanence and Sleep is still my forever favorite off the record. But yeah, dude, overall, insane album. And obviously been familiar with the band for a while, but now it's causing me to go back in their discography, and they were a little bit more of a traditional metalcore band back in the day, and I'm like, damn, this is the band for me. This is the next
you found your band.
This is the next discography dive. Spend 6 months with this band. I feel it happening. And this album is fucking awesome. As I said, one of my favorites of this year. Absolutely gonna make probably the top 5.
God damn.
Yeah, if not top 3. I can't put it in that number 1 slot yet, because the record that I will not name coming out on Friday. It's just like those two records are neck and neck. Like the fact they're coming out a week from each other is evil to me personally.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's so fucked because you don't even get a chance to kind of like absorb this one fully until you're on to the next one.
I'll just be flip flopping. Like I'll just have
make
them
a playlist.
Queued. I'll just have them queued and they'll be going on and off.
back to back to back. Yeah. Though this fucking album is incredible. I'm pretty sure one of the first things that we said before we even started the interview with Elijah, before like he even joined like the call, was we kind of like looked at each other and we went, this was really fucking good. And you especially were fucking tweaking out about it, and I was like, all right, calm down. But it was really good. It was well deserved. I completely agree with literally everything you said. I love this album a lot. I think it flows very well. It is the definition of all killer, no filler, which is great. As you said, it is very palatable. It's not like overwhelmingly, fucking screaming and shit, super heavy. I'm gonna use the buzzword. It has melodic moments, and that's really nice. I think this album's incredible. Definitely shout out to the actual opening track, The Midnight Sun. I love interludes. Big fan of fucking interludes.
And this record's got those for you.
It has them. So because it really, I feel like an album isn't an album without some sort of interlude or transition or something to kind of make everything in just one big song.
And when it's done right, like on this record. It's just beautiful. So shout out to all the fucking interludes. I really love Drowning Therapy, Permanence in Sleep, Eye to Eye, Ecstasy and Grief, Fade Into You, and then also Fade. Really liked both of them. I'm naming the whole track list, but I've listened to this album a couple of times because, I mean, we listened to it a couple times before the interview, and then listening to it a couple times today before the podcast has really given me the opportunity to kind of absorb it and be like, oh shit. Yeah, no, I would have tweaked out about this too if I'd given it like one more listen before the interview. I could have tweaked out with you, but I didn't. It's okay.
I am now. Yeah. I'm tweaking out now.
Better late than never, you know?
Exactly. I think this record is incredible. I think the interview was a lot of fun. It was very refreshing because it felt like we were just talking to a friend, which was really cool. Even though that was the first time we had met him and spoken to him. It was great. Elijah, if you want to be the third on the podcast, let us know. If your schedule is like super flexible and like you're like always available, I think you'd be a great fit.
Always available? Yeah, because you just have to get prepped for text like Friday at
6 a.m. Are you available? And you have to say, yes, I'm available. Yeah.
You don't have to say yes. There's no gun to your head. I'll just be like, come on, man. Why not?
Why not? You're not
you mean I got to turn this down?
Exactly. Come on. It's like, oh my God. So, shout out. Hop on the podcast. Hop on the pod. Yeah. So, great fucking album. Really loved it a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely, hands down, one of the best of this year. Like I'm not kidding. I'm not hyperbolic when I'm in their comments being like album of the year incoming. Like I actually fucking mean that. This is one of the best albums that I've heard all year. I've been waiting, honestly, all year to have an album like this that I am so fucking amped on. Because there's been so many good releases this year, like plenty that have blown me away, but very few that I have felt the way that I feel about this album, which is why I will so confidently say that this is absolutely going to be in the discussion when we do the album of the year discussion. Absolutely, it's so solid. Such a fantastic band, and I'm glad they've had a handful of rough years. The industry put them through the ringer, but I'm glad that they're back out on the other side and seeing a lot of success. I said it in the interview because Elijah had brought it up. Like the response at the time was so good. Like and I echoed that from an outsider's perspective. Like people were talking about this band the entire rollout and are continuing to talk about them obviously now with the record out, and it's super fucking cool to see that it's not just like, oh, the single comes out, people are hype, and then the hype dies off. Like people were talking about them the whole time, which is good because the album is so fucking solid, and they deserve all the success that comes with this. If you're in the UK and EU, they're going to be headlining, over there in a couple of days. That I believe it starts, and they're bringing the Gloom in the Corner as support. And hopefully we get lots and lots of US touring in 2025. I'll be there.
Please.
I mean, hearing this record got me out to see them on a Thursday night in Philadelphia, because I was like, fuck, like,
I gotta see it.
They're obviously going to tour in 2025 when the album's out, but I know how goddamn good this record is, and I have to go see them now.
Yeah, you gotta see that shit live.
Yeah.
You gotta see that energy, especially. They look like they put on an insane show.
They do.
Yeah, they're on my list.
Yeah.
You're on my list, Cane Hill. It's a good list. It's fine.